Hey everyone, it is Melissa Catherine, and I'm so excited for tonight's webinar. This is actually, I say webinar, but it's truly a training and a masterclass. We're going to be diving deep and really touching on one of my favorite topics, which might sound strange, but it's really how trauma impacts our weight and how different experiences in our life have actually been what is keeping us from the weight that we want to be, and is actually causing us to do a lot of self-sabotage in our lives. So I'm really excited to be here with you. As I said, this is one of my favorite topics because it's something that doesn't really get discussed often. So what I want to do to start off is I'd love it if you could say where you're from and what brought you to tonight's webinar. This is definitely a distinct message that I don't think lands with everybody. So I really want to share this with you. If you are here right now, there is a reason. If you are here right now, then really trust and know that you've asked for something. You've asked for guidance. You've asked for support. You've asked to be shown something that you otherwise have not known. And that is why you're here right now. So this is when we really want to be in gratitude and deep appreciation for what we have and the support that we have in life, because this is life showing up for you. So there's a reason why you clicked on this email. There's a reason why you're here right now. So I love this. This is Sherry and Linda. It's so great to see you, ladies. So we're going to get into tonight's topic and I also want to share with you too. What's up, Roxanne? Girl, I love this. All right. So everybody just say, basically, that you're here and what brought you here. So I know that that might feel really vulnerable, especially out of the gate, sharing something, but is it that this has been something that's kind of been brewing in the back of your mind, and once the topic came out, you were like, okay, this speaks to me? Has there been something that's been going on with you? So if you are in a space, hi Tammy girl, if you are in a space where you want to share, always let me know. Yeah, been on diets your whole life. So I know that when I first really understood about trauma and about how life experience impacts what we put into our body and our emotions, and really saw the connection, I realized that my struggles with weight had nothing to do with weight. It had nothing to do with willpower. It had nothing to do with me not wanting it. There was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't broken. My hormones, there wasn't anything of that nature. It was actually just me needing to understand why I felt this magnetic pull towards food. How many of you have felt like you've gone on autopilot before? And you're sitting there and you will tell yourself, I am not going to eat that. And you are on autopilot. And you honestly, it's like there's a haze that comes over you. And it's not until you've already gone and eaten that you sit there and you recognize and you go, okay, like, wait, whoa, what did I just do? I just worked so hard. I worked out this morning. I've been so good. What just happened? Right? Especially around the holiday season, right? Different social situations or vacations, different things will come up and you'll just kind of go like, who was that? Right? Okay. Yes. The autopilot, all of these things. So I want you to get Sharon. Yes. Oh, my voice is cutting out. Can you guys hear me okay? Can everybody? Sounds good. So Sharon, whoever said that, check your Wi-Fi, because I tested this with my team before we started. So just check and see. Often that can happen. And it's usually, it's generally when we test everything. Yes, I've definitely had technical things before, but just check your connection. Going into this, there's a lot that we're going to talk about tonight. So I want you guys to feel free to actively post in the chat. We have an awesome gift for those of you that are here tonight. So definitely stay on till the end to get that, because I love to reward people that come on live. It just shows how much you're making yourself a priority. It's so easy to sign up for 50,000 different classes and things, but to actually go, hey, this is something that I need and I'm important, and I'm a priority and I want to take the time to do that, that means that's a sense of self-love that goes beyond, you might be sitting there going, I'm not always that kind to myself, but to know that you're showing up for you right now, that's huge. So right now, we just want to give you a ginormous hug. Give yourself a hug, wrap those arms around you, and just say, I'm really proud of you for being here, and give yourself some love that you really, really need. So I just want to tell you what we're going to be doing here tonight. I am Melissa Catherine. I am a holistic nutritionist. I'm a body intuitive. I'm a best-selling author, international best-selling author and speaker. I've been a coach for, I swear, I feel like I've been doing it my whole life. I had my own struggles, which actually brought me to do this as my life's work. I have, and really have tied in, what I saw was that it's really easy to lose weight, which I know you might be going, it doesn't feel that easy to me. It's not easy to keep it off. And it's actually getting away from the concept of the magic pill and looking at the underlying beliefs of what's really going on. And that's actually what's keeping you from living a life that you really want to be living and having a body that matches that life. So I always say I help women to thrive in life in a body that they love. Because when you actually find that love with you, it actually filters into every area of your life. So I am a holistic nutritionist. I have a background in fitness. I was a fitness competitor and a trainer. I won Best Body in an International Natural Body Federation. I also am, as I said, a body intuitive. I actually saved my own life with cancer that was spreading to my lymph system, and ignored doctors and listened to my own guidance to get my throat checked, and I'm very happy to say that I am a cancer survivor of thyroid cancer. And with that, what I really help women do is come back to the truth of who they are before they thought they were less than due to a number on the scale or due to anything that's happened in their life. It's about coming back to wholeness and recognizing that you were never broken. And your weight is not what defines you. You're what defines you, as is your choices and as is the life that you co-create. So it's about giving you your power back. So I hope you're really, really excited tonight. We have amazing things that we're going to do. I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to be going through different steps that we have in tonight's masterclass. If you have questions at any time, put them in the box. I'm going to go throughout the end and answer what I can for you. Please feel free to share what's coming up for you at any time. I do encourage you to have your journal and a pen and to take notes. And for those of you that are joining live, you are going to get a replay. So know that, but I still want you to be very present. So pay attention to what you're doing right now. Pay attention if you've got 5 different windows open, if you're typing in Facebook, if you're watching TV, if you're doing all of these different things, because if you're taking the time to be here, be present. What I know about presence and what presence really means, and I'm not saying this to have you go like, girl, what is she watching? Can she see me right now? You're on your phone, is that as women, we multitask and we do it quite beautifully. However, we're actually not, when we're doing that, we're not really present and we're not really getting what we need. So if you've been asking for something, trust me, you're going to get an answer tonight. But I want you to be present to be able to hear it so that you can get the value and recognize that this is why you're here. And you can go, wow, that was worth my time. It's only worth your time if you make it worth your time. Get what I'm saying, girl? All right. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to share my screen with you here. We're going to start off tonight. I want to make sure that everybody can see this. I'm just going to open up the chat for me. So let me know if, thank you, Susan. Let me know. Okay, I'm glad you can hear everything. Any questions that you have, I'll have the chat box open. I want to go through this. So how trauma impacts your weight. We are doing 3 keys to release weight and break free from yo-yo dieting now. So if you've been and listened to any of my previous masterclasses around this, we're going to go deeper with this. So let's first identify, I'm actually going to do it with this because I want to make sure. There we go. So you know who I am. I already went through this, and I forgot to tell you, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. And I recently certified breath breath worker. That's right. Certified in breath work. I believe in having a lot of different healing modalities that I can teach to the women in my community to really support you in having an experience of being able to cement in change. And it's never about just eating differently or moving your body. Yeah, those are beautiful things. Learning what foods work for you and serve you instead of hurt you. Understanding your hunger levels. These are all beautiful things. This is what I teach in our Weight Loss for Life programs. This is what I do with my private clients. This is what we do in my MK Jumpstart and 4 Weeks to Fat Loss, all of those things. However, having modalities and things that you do day to day that keep you aligned those are those steps, those daily action steps that lead to consistency and change. And that commitment to those things is what's going to yield your biggest results. So having breath work, knowing how to do self-hypnosis or listening to hypnosis, meditation, morning practice, all of these different things support you in that. So just in case you were wondering about myself and my journey and really where I came from, I know I'd mentioned that I'd struggled with this, but when I say I struggled, I really struggled. And I basically have I've had clients that are, over 100 pounds overweight to clients that don't even need to lose weight, but have a really unhealthy relationship with food. I've had clients that have endured immense abuse and trauma to clients that have had just really a dislike for themselves and a poor relationship with themselves and their bodies. It's run the gamut, where they know they're meant for something greater, and they know that this struggle has taken up enough of their lives. And each one of them will say to me, I feel like you get me. And it's because I've been on so many spectrums within myself. I've had a variety from body dysmorphia to orthorexia nervosa, to just disordered eating, to compulsive eating and binge eating, a multitude of different things, a very, very deep dislike for myself. And I really had to learn to love myself, and I had to learn to foster a beautiful relationship with myself. I had to release perfectionism and the need to control. And I had to release dieting, because dieting gave me so much control that I otherwise did not know and didn't trust that I would be able to do it otherwise. I needed rigid parameters around myself, or so I thought. But those parameters actually kept me from living. They kept me stuck, and they were basically, I call it joy stealers. It was stealing my joy. My life was, you wake up, you work out, you follow, you only eat so many calories, you go to bed to wake up to work out, you only eat so many calories until I would binge, and then I'd beat myself up, and then I'd rebel, and then I'd go through this cycle. So my life was consumed with losing and gaining. And it always gave me a reason why I couldn't actually go for my dreams, because I was so consumed with the dieting, and it felt all consuming, right? There was not a day where I didn't know how many calories I was consuming, where I wasn't analyzing myself to death, right? And so I actually didn't know what freedom felt like. What could that be, to just eat what my body wanted? I thought I'd eat everything inside. I thought I'd go straight to Dunkin' Donuts, order a thing of Munchkins, maybe 5, maybe 10, go and get my mint chocolate chip. There were so many things, right? Because it was so black and white. And then I'd rebel, right? So in saying this, you'll see that there's the emotional eater in me that was always fluctuating in and out. And then there was the dieter and the extreme dieter. That picture, yeah, I gained all the weight back within, I say 6 months, but I really think it was closer to 3. Talk about having people just look at you and just feeling their judgment as you're immensely judging yourself. Right? And then there's me, happy and healthy. And I've maintained that for over a decade. And it's through eating in a way that's in alignment, but I had to do what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I get where you are, I get where you've been, and I know where you're going. Okay. So let's really break down what is trauma. I think there's a really huge misconception around trauma. And I break this down for the women in my community often, because there's such a misconception of, oh, trauma means I must have been raped. I must have been molested. I must have been abused. I must have been hit. I must have had this. Yes. Right? Yes. That is definite forms of trauma. Trauma can also be watching your parents fight when you were little, having a neglectful parent, seeing them go through a divorce. It could be a boy calling you fat on the playground, or having your heart broken, and then seeing him fall in love with another girl, you know, overnight. And you're sitting there thinking, and you attribute it to you not being good enough. It could be your mom putting you on a diet. Hello, I was in Weight Watchers when I was 12, right? I was never more than a size like 8. It was, well, that's not true. But at the time I wasn't. And I remember, anyway, my point is, Weight Watchers, having my mom take me there. I just remember, you know, just knowing and feeling that she thought something was wrong with me. And then I took that story on and made it my own, right? So traumas come in different forms, right? There's big T traumas, big T, when we're looking from, you know, when you go into counseling and therapy and different things, big T traumas will be those big things, you know, that can be, again, you know, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. And then there's little T. And there's a whole spectrum, guys. It can be being in a narcissistic relationship. It can be having a highly critical parent or sibling, right? It could be being told that you need to lose weight, like I said earlier, being put on a diet. It could be a friend calling you thunder thighs or saying you have a big butt. It's a multitude. And we don't want to discount these things, because if it left an impact on your mind, and this is how you can really know about a trauma. And if there's been trauma that's held and stored in the body, because the mind will override what the body knows. This is why I always teach my clients, your body knows. Your mind will keep you safe, but your body knows. So here's the thing. I want you to think right now about something that you might be questioning if it's a trauma. I want you to close your eyes. I just want you to think about whether or not you think it's a trauma, okay? And I want you to think about the experience. And I want you to, as you close your eyes, I want you to bring up the experience in your mind. Maybe it's something that a parent said to you. Now guys, I want to be clear. I'm not blaming parents. Parents are doing the best that they can. This isn't to point the finger. But our subconscious mind stops forming after the age of 8, which means any stories before that is what becomes ingrained in us. And it becomes a part of our signature belief system. So I just want you to think about maybe something that was said to you, right? And I want you to think about it, and I want you to bring it into your mind and bring it into your memory and replay it right now. And I want you to notice if any emotion comes up. Maybe you feel anger or sadness. Maybe there's frustration or disappointment. Makes me cry. Yeah. So when we have an emotional response, I want you to notice, Linda, thank you. Where is that in your body? Where do you feel it? Because it could be in your solar plexus, right? Which is right here. Could be in your throat. You might notice your throat closing up, your chest, your belly, your head, pain in your back, your lower back. So pay attention, Debbie, sad, my heart. Yeah, Linda, my heart. Roxanne, shame. Yeah. So I want you to take that. I just got chills all over. So I want you to recognize. Yeah, we're just going to take that in. You're all protected, okay? So I just want you to know that. So take that in and recognize, feel where it is in your body. And I want you to go into that space, Ilana, rejection. Yeah, I hope I'm saying your name right. It looks beautiful. Anger and sadness, solar plexus, yeah. So oftentimes, keep your eyes shut. I'm just going to keep talking. I just want you to stay with that emotion. I want you to recognize you're seeing exactly how the body stores memory, how it stores unhealed pain, right? You're feeling that now in the body. So as we feel that in the body, this is what we actually do in work, in energy work and in the healing work. And this is stuff that I do in my programs like Weight Loss for Life and with my private clients, is we actually identify what that pain is, where it lives in the body. And I want you to go there now, and I'm going to give you a taste of this. I'm not going to go too far. I don't want you to get too bogged down with emotion to where you're not going to be able to be present to the rest of this. And I don't want to exhaust you, but I want you to stay with this, and I want you to feel that. And I want you, as your eyes are closed, everybody has different processes for being with an emotion. And so some of you may be with that right now, and you might see a color, or you might feel the weight, or you might see something. Maybe you see your little girl. Maybe you see the person that hurt you. Maybe you see a wall in front of you, or a cloud of smoke, or there's just a red dot. There's a multitude of things. Everybody has different ways to process what they're experiencing. So as you're doing this right now, I want you to put a color, a shape, a feeling, or an image to it. And I want you to see that in the space in your body. And I want you, and if it is your little girl, ask her what age she is. If you don't know the memory that you're feeling right now, if there isn't a direct memory, ask her what age and where this is coming from. If there's another person in front of you that hurts you, right? So then you can go into a dialogue. Right now, what I want you to do is just be with that feeling, that visual, whatever it is that you're experiencing. It depends on the way you process, whether it's visual, audio, right? It's a multitude, whether it's feeling. And I want you to ask that feeling in you, what does it need? What does it need from you right now to heal, to release this pain, to release this emotion? You may just start crying. You may hear love. You may hear, I need to scream. I need to use my voice. There's a lot of different things, so I want you to listen and take a moment right now and hear what you're getting. And once you hear that, ask yourself if this is something that you can do. Are you open to doing what's being asked of you from yourself, from this piece of you? And if you're in agreement, I want you to thank this piece of yourself and say that you are going to do this, that you're going to try. And when you're ready, I want you to come back, wrap your beautiful arms around you, give yourself a hug and say, I love you. I really love you. I'm with you. You are safe, and I'm here to protect you. No one can hurt you. I'm here to protect you. Okay. And when you're ready, please open your eyes. And in the chat box, let me know what came up for you. Or write it in your journal. Lots of tears. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have chills. So I know that there was protection and love. So why did I have you do this exercise? Because your weight's been your protection. Oh, you guys are all giving me chills. I'm getting fluttered left and right. Oh, yeah. Tightness in my throat and my chest. So whenever we feel tightness, it's because a release is needed. What you'll notice, and when we do different work within this experience, is that do you see how beautiful was that to connect to your body and to see where it stores things? There's a lot of power in that. And I wanted you to be able to experience that because you've been operating from a place of trying to make sense of it up here. See, the body has stored memory. So every time that emotion or that belief gets triggered, it is literally, there's a signal that, say it's in your solar plexus, there's a signal, or in your throat. It's going up and it's going ding, 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 eat food. We need to be protected. We need protection because somewhere along the lines, my beautiful friend, you believed and turned to food to protect you as a coping mechanism. And food's become your safety blanket. It's become your best friend and your protector. And your body is still an 8-year-old. And she doesn't believe that you're going to protect her. Because at that time, when you were hurt, whatever age you were, it doesn't matter if you were an adult, there wasn't the protection that was needed. And she got hurt. So she turned back to food and keeps turning to food because she doesn't believe that she's safe. And this is how trauma impacts your weight. And this is why we go back and back and back again, no matter how much we don't want to. Does all of this make sense? Okay, put in the chat box if you have any questions for me. So really, really hear this. You are not broken at all. I don't care what's happened to you in your life. And I don't mean I don't care. Of course I care. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter how many horrific things have come your way, and I'm so sorry if they have. But you are not broken. And you can create a new. It's just trusting that it's possible and continuing each day to take inspired action towards that very thing. It is the dieting industry that has set you up to fail. Giving you pictures of before and afters, just do this and then you'll be fine. They're not taking into account life, your life. They're not taking into account your body and what your body needs to thrive, or your lifestyle. They're not taking into account the pieces of you that haven't been healed, that desperately are holding on to food, their best friend, the thing that's always been there for them. Yes, of course you can discard it. You can discard food for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days for that before and after photo. And that 30-day challenge. We can do anything for that period of time. And you can tuck food away and go, I'm doing this and I'm feeling good. But then life happens. And you need your friend. You need your safety blanket. You need your protector, because that piece of you hasn't been strengthened to know that it can take care of you. And there aren't enough things in place in your life and within your system isn't calmed yet to recognize that we have other things that are going to serve us that we can turn to. So please, 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 please hear me when I say there is nothing wrong with you, girl. You are incredible, exactly as you are. We are not fixing you. You are not on this call tonight because something's wrong with you. You don't need to be fixed. You're here tonight because you know that you deserve more and because you're ready to break free. you're ready to be the adult of your life. And that's what we're going to be doing. Does that make sense? I hope that all of this is really speaking to you. So, Lori, I'm just going to answer this. What is happening? So I want to be clear with this. What is happening when we turn to food is we view our minds are set up to keep us safe. And I'm going to go through this. So actually stick with me here and you'll get an answer to what you put in the chat. So when we go into self-love, and I know we hear this all the time in the dieting industry, just need to love yourself. You need to love you. And I get it, trust me, because I used to sit there and say, no, I do love me. But I realized when I really started doing what I teach in one of my programs is mirror work. And it's actually standing in front of the mirror. And if you've been following me, you've heard me talk about this a million times, and I will talk about it till I'm blue in the face. It works. It might take months of you doing it, but it works. And if you want something that's free that can transform you, then do it. And it's standing in front of the mirror. I say butt naked or in your underwear. And you might sit there and go, I do love me. I do a lot of things that I love me. I really do. But it's not until we actually have to stare ourselves in the eyes and confront ourselves fully naked and see ourselves and take ourselves in and say, I love you exactly as you are. I don't want to change a thing. Full self-acceptance, because as humans, that is all we desire. Unconditional love from our partner, which means we want unconditional love from ourselves. We want someone to love us so much that it doesn't matter what we do or what we say, they will never leave our side. We want somebody to say, you are perfect exactly as you are. We want someone to never judge us, to just go, I love you no matter what. We can fight, you can turn your back on me, you can say awful things to me, and I will always be here for you. Why do you think we want that? Why do you think we desperately desire that from a partner? Because that's all we want from ourselves. And until we have that love affair, there is an empty gap within our hearts and within our lives. Because we'll never be able to receive the love that we so desperately want from other people. We'll never actually be able to feel it, even if we have it. Do you know how many women I have that come to me, my clients, that will say, I have a man that loves me. He doesn't care if I weigh 300 pounds. He thinks I am beautiful no matter what. And I don't. I cannot receive his compliments. I have women that will come to me and say, I have amazing children that love me so much. And for some reason, I can't fully take in their love. I don't feel deserving of it. Why? Because they don't feel deserving of their own love. They have not loved themselves fully. And when a gap is within ourselves, we will turn to food because the ache in our soul is so big that it will do anything. See, when we have an unmet desire, a desire for love, a desire to be seen, a desire to be heard, a desire to be loved, a desire to be accepted, a desire I get so passionate, a desire to not be, right? To not be judged, to just be, to release control, to not be perfect, which perfection doesn't exist. My clients know this, right? We have such a strong desire, and until that's met, we will seek out food. Our minds are smart, and our minds want to give us what we aren't able to give ourselves. It will keep us in the cycle of dieting. Go and diet. We've done that in the past. It takes our mind off things. We can eat, we can numb out. It gives us what we need. It gives us something. The problem is, it's hurting you instead of helping you. Mirror work, standing in front of a mirror. I want each of you to write this down. I am committed to 30 days of mirror work. Honestly, I want that to be 300 days of mirror work. I am committed to 30 days of mirror work. I'm going to stand in front of the mirror, butt naked each day, because I know that the more that I love me, the less I'll want the food. The more that I love me, the less the trauma will impact me and will not have me turn to food, but it will have me turn to me, turn to love. There are only two human emotions, love and fear. If you are operating from a place of eating to numb out, you are in fear. Fear of never getting the body, fear of never getting the weight off, fear of not having what you want, fear of not being enough, fear of not feeling worthy, fear of not being deserving, fear of being judged, fear of having a dream that you'll never fulfill. This is all fear. And the more we live into fear, we allow negativity to breed within us, to come alive. And that negativity says, no matter what you do, you're never going to lose the weight. So you might as well eat anyway. And that's that piece of you that keeps you stuck. Right? It's a piece of you that keeps you stuck. Stand in front of the mirror each day, every day, for 30 days. Get in my Done with Dieting group and tell me how you feel about you. I guarantee your number of binges and your need to overeat, especially around the holidays, will subside. You might be sitting there going, this damn thing isn't working. This woman told me it's 30 days. I do believe, and I know with myself, I needed 4 months. And one day I walked by and I was like, I love you. You're beautiful. And I was like, what? Who is that? Who's that person? And I was like, that's me. That's me. And I fucking love me. Do you get that? Excuse my language, but that's how much I rarely curse, and I love me so much. And I want you to love you too. Stand in front of that mirror. If you need to, have clothes on at first, but take them off, take yourself there, look deep within your own eyes and say, I love you exactly as you are. And for those of you that are sitting there right now going, but I don't love me exactly as I am. I don't like this body. I want the weight off. What I say to you is this: your body has been there for you when you haven't. Your body has been there for you those nights where you've overeaten. Your body has been there for you when you have ripped yourself apart and said you're not deserving of love or anything. Your body has been there for you. Day in and day out, when you run it ragged, when you stay up watching TV till all hours in the night, when you eat so much that your stomach hurts, your body has been there. And it's doing its best to help you lose the weight. And it's got so many messages for you. But the more that you eat and the more that you numb out, you can't hear them. And that brings you into separation from self. And it takes you away from the love for you. So yes, you need to love you and accept you exactly as you are. Yes, you need to tell yourself that you are perfect exactly as you are and that you're so excited for what's to come. Acceptance does not mean that you stop wanting to be better than where you are right now. Acceptance means I love who I am exactly as I am. And anything else that comes, that's gravy. That's just me. And this weight that's on me, it's protection, because I haven't felt safe in this world and in this body. And the more that I feel safe, the more that I trust me, the more that I love me, I'm going to release this weight with ease, and I'm going to be excited to be seen, and I'm going to be safe to do so. And I'm not going to want to self-sabotage, and I'm not going to want to eat to put the weight back on, because I'm going to be excited and I'm going to trust me, and I'm going to trust my word. See, when we've dieted, we break our commitments to ourselves over and over again, and we stop trusting ourselves. And then we lose sight of who we are. It's about coming back to who you are before the trauma, before you were told you were less than, before you thought that you weren't enough. It's about believing you're enough exactly as you are. And that's when you come back to wholeness. The more you love you, the less you want the food. The fuller your life, I push my clients to make their life very full, to go and do all the things they've been stopping themselves from, to go and experience life in such a beautiful way that you want and are excited to wake up, that you don't need the food or want the food because the food just weighs you down. And that's when you release weight without dieting. Okay. So why are you here? What is it that you want? What do you want to feel? Get very clear here. You might think this is a really simple question. I want to lose weight, Melissa. Duh, that's why I'm here. Yeah, I know. But why? What is it going to give you? Get tied to your why. Why do you want this? It needs to be something greater than I just want to lose the weight to be healthy, because let's be honest here. Everybody wants to be healthy. I know people that are very, very sick and they still won't shift their diet. So how bad health, we only really know what true health feels like when it gets taken from us. I've only been in a space of truly waking up and understanding the power of waking up on my own with energy because of having cancer. And then I see the gift, right? So I really, really want you to get that it's not until these things are taken from you. What will it mean for you to shop and put anything on your body? What will it mean for you to go and get a size that you're proud to be? What will it mean for you to walk around at your ideal weight? What will it mean for you to have endless energy? Get tied to your why, because your why is what's going to get you up every day to move your body and keep you in alignment to eat right. And if your why is not strong, then it is very easy to sabotage yourself. And if you don't believe that you losing this weight is possible, then you will sabotage. Get tied to a strong why. Write that down and get clear. Post in the Done with Dieting group in Facebook. Why do you want this? Share it, declare it, and support one another. Community is key. Okay? So as I was saying, what is it you really want? Community is key. Clarity is king. Write that down. Community is key to your success, and clarity is king. Be clear in what you want. I always have women, I've had so many, thousands. I just want to lose weight. Why? What will it give you? Get really clear. What will your future look like? What would it look like for you this time next year to be at your ideal weight? What would it look like for you 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now? What will that feel like? Get clear on what that will look like for you so you can get tied to the vision and get tied to the inspiration. Because if you want it, if you're here right now, it's because it's meant for you. And the only thing that's standing in the way is your fear that it's not going to happen. Okay. So in what ways, write this down. Very action oriented. If we have not noticed, I like participation in my trainings. I want you to walk away from this having gotten a ton from it. I want you with clarity. I want you taking action with mirror work. I want you to know your why, and I want you to have a strong vision. And I also want you to recognize where trauma lives in your body, how it feels in your body, and how many different stories we have from childhood, from life, that are stored in your body that are driving you to food. And the more that we can understand them and have an emotional response and recognize where we live in the body, the more we can feel them to heal them and diffuse their impact on what it is we put into our body. Okay? It's about nourishing you with words, nourishing you with love, nourishing you with actions of love. Food is no longer nourishing you, it's hurting you. We want to learn and flip to food being fuel, right? It's something, I'm like getting tongue-tied tonight, that food is fuel, that you can enjoy it, but that it doesn't overpower you, right? You are empowered around food, right? Now, this isn't all going to happen on tonight's webinar. This takes time. My clients experience this, right? But I want you to start to understand and get the seeds in your system for it. In what ways do you believe you've been sabotaging your weight loss? I often will talk with them and they'll go, I don't know. I don't know what I've been doing. Then they'll go, I don't know, or no, I don't know what I've been doing. They'll go, I don't know why I can't lose weight. I don't know why. And I go, okay. So in the past week, in what ways have you gotten in the way of your weight loss? And when I say gotten in the way, recognize where you feel like anger at yourself, because this isn't about being angry at you. It's about understanding your patterns. All of your patterns, by the way, are set up to protect you. right? Your habits, these patterns, many of them are set up to protect you, have been ways in which you've been overwhelmed before and your mind came up with a solution. And it turned to food more so because food's an instant gratification that's at your fingertips, that is easily accessible, that can suppress and numb out many emotions. So if that has been your coping mechanism since childhood or grade school or adolescence or college or later in life, then that will be your coping mechanism now. I have women that will go, I've never had an issue with food until I went through my divorce. And then in the past so many years, it's become a new coping mechanism because you were too overwhelmed with too many things in your life and you didn't know how to handle them. And so we compartmentalize, and sometimes we do that as a protection, and the mind goes, okay, if it's too much, let's eat, let's numb that out, we're going to deal with this instead. Thank that piece of you that wanted to protect you and let it know it doesn't need to be here anymore. And in order to not have it be there, we have to learn other coping mechanisms and strengthen that piece of you that trusts you. Again, this stuff isn't done overnight. I want you to have a context and an understanding so that you know the next time. And we're going to get into more, so stick with me here, okay? In what ways do you believe you've been sabotaging your weight loss? What have you been doing? Put it in the chat box. How have you been getting in your own way? Right? How have you stopped yourself? Have you been staying up late at night and then you miss your workouts? Have you been eating all of your calories at night? I don't like to talk about calories, but like putting in a context of this, is it that you're eating a lot at night? Are you missing breakfast? Are you not eating until 3 o'clock, right? Are you eating late at night? Maybe the bulk of your calories is dinner and beyond. Maybe you start eating at 6 o'clock when you walk in the door and you don't stop until 11, 12 o'clock at night. Is it weekends? You're great all week and then you binge on the weekends? In what ways are you getting in your way? Is it daily snacking? Is it snacking in the office? What are those things for you? So if it's chocolate, what is it around chocolate? Get more specific. Understand your patterns, ladies, right? Because there's different things. If it's chocolate, what time of day? What's going on for you? There are 4 questions that I want you to write down, right? 4 questions. And I always say this, if you've been struggling with your weight for more than a year, you don't have a weight issue. You do not have a weight issue. You have a relationship with food and a lack of one with you and the life that you're living. There are gaps. I always say where there's lack, you will fill those gaps with food. So if you're lonely, you will fill that gap of loneliness with food. If you are unfulfilled in your career, you will seek out food. If you are married and your sex life is non-existent, we have needs, ladies. You will seek out food. If you've noticed something, it was funny. I was talking to one of my clients the other day and she goes, or was it one of my clients? I don't know. Was it a client? Well, all my clients are my friends. Let's be honest. I'm like, was it a client? Was it a friend? I'm like, they're all my friends. And we were talking about Halloween. And I was like, did you notice that every Halloween, most women wear something slutty and revealing? Why? Because our culture is so suppressed that we very rarely get to act out our desires. We very rarely get to allow that side of ourselves because there's so much judgment, right? Especially if you're of my generation, the generations above me. Millennials are getting out there more, right? Like they're more expressive. They're more about like, let me take care of me, let me do me. If you're in my generation and above, then it's very much, very, your sexuality your desires are very suppressed. So if you've noticed there's in terms of our culture and our society, at least in the United States, I'm more speaking in the United States because Italy, my clients, in Australia, in Italy, even in the UK, I would say Spain, Latin cultures are great about women really being in their femininity and their sexuality and sensuality. But where we have unmet desires, right? Like that's just a human need, where we're not really allowing ourselves in the culture in the US too. Women recently were given a voice. Recently, the Me Too movement like just happened. So all of this, don't show anger. Don't be sad. Don't, you know, essentially just be one of these women from like, you know, the Stepford Wives, where you're just like, yes, and I'm, you know, I don't have emotions and I'm just a robot, right? So this happens a lot in our culture. Don't show anger. Don't allow, like, if you want to have your sexual desires met, then you're a slut, you're a whore. You know, a lot of this judgment. And this is why so many women are suppressed and they're dating food. I was one of them, right? I didn't use my voice. I didn't show anger. I had to be perfect all the time, right? I didn't want people to know I wasn't happy. Of course I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And then I'd go home and I'd eat until I was sick, right? That's not happy. But I couldn't let people know I wasn't happy. Then they judge me, right? Like, this is what we think. But who was judging who? I was judging myself. Don't know the real me, because if you see the real me, you won't like me. You won't like who you see. So instead, I'm going to act this way, and I'm going to paint this pretty little picture. I'm going to look perfect. I'm going to have the perfect body. I'm going to say all the perfect things, but I'm not going to let you know that I'm lonely, and I'm sad, and I'm angry, and I'm frustrated, and I had crappy things happen, and I didn't have anybody to protect me, right? And so, right, we shove that down. Ladies, this is why we need sisterhood. This is what community is about. This isn't about us tearing each other down. It's about us supporting one another and sharing. So when I say, if you've been struggling with your weight for more than a year, please know there is nothing wrong with you. It's just about shifting your relationship with food to being in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful love affair with yourself, right? So it's never about the food, ever. I have people come to me all the time. It's the food, and I just need to figure. Yes, of course, there's some things, and we go into that, and I talk to my clients about that, and we look at, yes, there are obviously foods that work for you, and foods that help you and support you, and foods that heal. I believe food is medicine. I am a nutritionist, right? I've healed myself of autoimmune diseases. I've healed myself of IBS. I've healed myself of, I used to be hospitalized for asthma. There have been a lot of different things. I had SIBO. I've had, you name it. I've done a lot of different things. I believe I've also had a lot of these things because I've helped my clients heal from them. So I always have this little fun thing where things happen to me, and then I see that they happen to me so I can figure them out, and then I help others. I love being a healer. So I say this because really, really recognize, I hope you see now and understand that there's a lot that's underneath this, that it's not just about the food. Yes, food is medicine. Yes, when we eat sugar, we go to want more sugar. Of course, sugar is more addictive than crack, heroin, and cocaine, right? And yes, and it's never about the food fully. Why do you want those things? Why is it that you're needing a timeout from life? What is too much for you? Notice your system. So as you heard me say earlier, your mind has a survival technique. It is to set you up to keep you safe. The mind only knows what you've taught it. So if you've taught it to lose weight, to then gain it back again, to lose weight and then to rebel, to if you've had a situation where you've lost weight and then everybody's noticed and it made you feel uncomfortable in your body, and you notice that once people started to notice, you felt immense pressure, and then you started eating again, and you sabotage yourself, and then you get mad at yourself. Why do I do that? You do it because there's a piece of you that doesn't feel safe to be seen. And your mind keeps you in that pattern, and it's something that you learned earlier in life. That's all. Give yourself compassion. There are 4 C's that I teach my community: consistency, compassion, connection, and commitment. You cannot stay committed without consistency. You cannot have compassion if you're not connected. Okay? So where there's lack, you will fill this gap with food. Right now, I want you to write down What areas of your life, if we take your life like a pie, and we've got spirituality, career, sex, love, family, right? Money, and put in whatever else is there. Play, your relationship to you. Draw a line and figure out how full are those pieces of the pie. Financially, do you feel free? If you're looking and the pie's like this, right? Put a line. Maybe you feel fully financially free, maybe fully financially free, maybe not at all. Start connecting the dots. Right? Your life is a pie, so you're going to draw on in your journal, you're going to put a circle and a dot in the middle, and you're going to draw out pieces of the pie, and you're going to put names: family, love, sex, money, career, spirituality. And you're going to see how full you are in those areas of your life. That's going to be a clear indicator for where lack exists. Where are those gaps? Very, very, very helpful to have a visual so you can actually see. And ladies, I want you to be real with yourselves. And you might be sitting there going, oh God, like there's so much that's empty on this and that. That's fine. Okay? That's fine. That's why you're here. So you want to connect those and see, because now you're getting a clear snapshot of what is missing for you. Maybe it's physical activity, health, right? What are these things that are missing? And then we want to start to work to fill them. So there's two types of cravings that I teach. There's a head craving and a heart craving, okay? Now, I love teaching this, and I will always teach this, and it will always be a part of many things that I teach, because I think it's extremely helpful for us to understand how we eat emotions and how our emotions are a driving force in the foods that we choose, and how we can actually counter that very thing. So let's break down head cravings first. Head cravings generally are characterized as feeling a lack of control. Generally, when we have a head craving, we want foods that are crunchy and maybe salty: popcorn, granola, nuts, pretzels, trail mix, Chex Mix, chips and guacamole, carrots, celery, sugar snap peas, jicama. Can be healthy things too, it doesn't matter, but things that you're wanting to chew on. Maybe you notice that you're a constant gum chewer. I was a gum chewer. I was literally, I would say, I didn't know, but like a gum addict. I mean, I would go through like 3 packs of gum a day, 3. The minute it would lose flavor, I'd put another piece in. It was a great dieting tactic not to eat as well. Now, please don't take that as a dieting tactic, because it causes immense number of cavities. It caused my digestive issues. All that fake sugar, I don't care if it's with stevia or xylitol. Too much of a chemical is not good in the body. Common sense, right? It just isn't. Well, I chewed multiple packs of gum for years. So yeah, my best friend and I would be like, we're going to eat our dinner with gum. I remember that in our 20s. We'd be like, we're not going to eat dinner tonight because we need to lose weight. So instead we're going to chew, we're going to pick out, I would pick out gum that had a mint chocolate chip flavor, because that's my favorite ice cream. And I would chew an entire pack. So those are just ways. I call that the trickery of the dieter. The dieter will find ways to get its needs met. We're going to go into that. But going back to a head craving comes from a lack of control. A heart craving comes from a void, a lack of fulfillment. There is a void in your life. Maybe you don't have a purpose. You don't know what your purpose is. You have a void around love. Maybe you're even married, but you don't feel in love with your partner, or you just got married to get married, or you're looking for love and you can't find it, and there's an emptiness in your heart. Or you wanted children and didn't have them, or what multitude of things. Wherever there is a void. So heart craving is from a lack of fulfillment. Head craving, we want sweet, we want salty, we want crunchy. Heart craving, we want more creamy. We want cheeses, we want ice creams, we want pudding. We want decadence. We want rich things. We like our wine and our chocolate, right? It's things that we like, our cakes and our pastries, right? Things of that nature. Head craving can even be Rice Krispie treats, cereal, right? Cereal was mine too. So I had a lot of head cravings, a lack of control, because I wasn't moving forward in my life's dream. So I was staying stuck. So I used to have a head craving a lot, and I always wanted cereal and crunch, 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 crunch. Later in life, I had a head craving or a heart craving coming from love and loneliness. I remember being in New York. It's an amazing city, and it can be the loneliest place in the world, even if you have people that are around the corner. So everyone's so doing their own thing, right? And you get lost. I was lost in the dieter, so I was beating myself up. There was tons of guilt and shame. So there was a lack of love for me and a loneliness for myself, right? To find me. I don't know if anybody relates to that. And I had a loneliness for love. And I found I was in a love affair with food. I had to divorce food. It's actually something that we do in my Weight Loss for Life program. Does anybody feel me with that? Anybody? So head cravings are crunchy, right? So put in the chat box, are you a head craving or a heart craving? Head or heart? Which one identifies? Now you can have both. You can totally have both. And you'll find that they'll come up at different times. Generally, head cravings can arise at work. Procrastination. You can find yourself sitting there going, you know, I don't want to have to do what's in front of me. I don't like my job. I'm frustrated. Or it can be you're a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're just like, oh my God, get me out of the monotony of what's going on right now. Or you're an entrepreneur at home, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things that could come up during your day. Heart craving, generally you will find that it happens more at night. It's on weekends, Sunday nights, Sunday. Oftentimes I have a lot of women that come to me and they go, Sunday is like my all eating day. You know, it's like they're still stuck on that cheat day idea. Instead of a cheat meal, it's a cheat day, or they plan their whole day, but it really comes from loneliness, right? And it will also can come from, when I have a lot of clients that, you know, they're moms, they love, but they don't really feel that they're on purpose with what they're doing. So it's not until their husbands go to bed or they put their kids down, and then they find themselves eating in isolation, eating alone. And it's really from a place of, it's a part of giving back to themselves, because there's a piece of themselves that's just exhausted. And there's, they're needing to be, they need their cup filled back up. Heart. Okay, heart. So you want to understand what that is. And the more that you can understand what that comes from, you want to ask yourself these 4 questions. Write these down. Am I really recognize the time of day that it happens and the food that you go for? Is it heart craving or head craving? Ask yourself, if it's heart, where are you not in control? Because what's happening is you're wanting to stay on a diet and turn to a diet, or turn to obsessing over your food, or turning to eating because you're wanting to feel a sense of control. You're wanting to take action. So instead of taking action with food, I want you to take action with something in life. If you're experiencing a heart craving, I want you to give back to yourself. What is something that you can do to soothe you, to help you? Okay? What is something that you can do to soothe you and to help you? Write that down. There are 4 questions that you're going to ask yourself. Write these down. Am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to solve the problem? And what can I do instead? Am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to solve the problem? And what can I do instead? When we are a dieter, and when we've come from trauma in particular, we love to create control, and we thrive on telling ourselves that we need to be perfect. We always have, I'm not perfect, at the end of everything. That way you're never actually loving you or satisfied with anything that you do. So you're robbing yourself of all joy in life. Really understand that. That's why it's so important. One of the very first things that we do in our Weight Loss for Life program is we rid ourselves of the perfectionist within. It takes time. It's not the very first thing. The women in that program you'll hear the word perfect and, well, I'm not perfect yet. I'm not perfect. And I'm always like you, there is no perfect. You will never be perfect. There is no such thing. Stop, remove it. It's not going to happen. It's just one day at a time, one meal at a time, one step at a time. What happens is dieters love to deprive and restrict. It is their way of keeping control. It is something that you learned to do because you didn't want to have to feel the pain of whatever you experienced in your life. So instead, you allowed your mind to go into dieting. If I just diet, if I just lose the weight, then everything will be perfect. I can get the body. And if I just have the body, I don't care when you get the body. If you don't heal the trauma, you will put the weight back on. And you will be unsatisfied when you lose the weight because you still will not be happy or feel safe in your body. You will still find something wrong with you. Where we restrict, we will rebel. Where we restrict, remember, an unmet desire will find its way to get its needs met. You will inevitably rebel against yourself. Be prepared for that if you are restricting and depriving yourself right now. The only way to get out of that is through allowance and building the trust within you. Something that we do again in our Weight Loss for Life program that I do with clients, and that I will say it takes time because you have to prove to yourself that you're going to follow through on your commitments. What does that look like? It means saying, hey, I'm going to wake up and work out tomorrow, and doing it. It means, hey, I'm going to get myself some healthy meals, and I'm going to make some better choices, and I'm going to stop eating when I'm full. I'm going to practice that tonight. Or I'm going to eat undistracted tonight. I'm going to make that commitment to me, and I'm going to show up. Or I'm going to start to be on time. You start by telling yourself and making small commitments, not grand ones, guys. Because another thing is dieters love to go, I'm going to work out 7 days this week. Even though they haven't worked out or made a consistent day of working out, even more than 1 day a week. All of a sudden they're like, I'm going to do 7 days and I'm going to eat gluten-free and I'm going to be dairy-free. Just go slow. And I know there's fear of, if I go slow and the weight's never going to come off. Trust me, you've been dieting for your whole life and you're still not where you want to be. Give yourself the grace of going slow and trusting that you're going to get there. It's so much better to get to where you want to be, heal, and once you get there, you'll stay there and never have to diet again, then run to it and not be able to make any of that stick. And I know you're like, but I've been doing this my whole life. I just want to get this weight off. I feel like I've been dieting my whole life. Yes, you have been dieting your whole life, and it has not worked. It hasn't worked. If it did, you wouldn't be here right now, right? And even if you don't have weight to lose and you're sitting there, but you have an unhealthy relationship, you still are trying to stick to a diet to gain some sense of control so you don't have to feel what's unhealed in the body. Does that make sense? I know this is a lot of information, so I hope you're able to take in what I'm saying, and just know that I'm saying it with love because I want to awaken you to what's possible. I want you to know that you're here for a reason. I want you to understand that you're meant to have this weight off. It's not meant to keep you stuck, but there are things here, and it's not just, I just want to lose weight, so why can't I? If it was as simple as I'm just going to, eat less and move more, you would have done it and you'd be there, right? Everybody would. This is why the diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a reason. You're not alone in this. You're not. It's just a lot of people aren't speaking to all of these facets. And this is what's actually what causes the self-sabotage. This is what gets in the way. All of this is making sense, right? Okay. So dating yourself. What does that look like? Right now, I want you to put in the chat box, do you know you? Do you feel like you know what makes you happy? Do you feel like you know who you are? Anybody? So what okay, I'm learning, yeah. So what I wanna challenge you to, I don't even wanna challenge you, I just wanna invite you. I want you to start asking yourself what you like. I want you to start with breakfast. What would be your favorite breakfast? I want you to ask yourself, do you like to go to the movies? Would you go to the movies alone? On a Saturday afternoon, if you had nothing to do and you could plan it just for you, what would you do? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite season? What's your favorite music? Who's your favorite author? What's your favorite movie? Do you like romantic comedies? Are you a sci-fi? Do you like listening to audiobooks or do you like reading them? Who are you? Have fun. Because here's the thing. If you're sitting there trying to get back to who you were at so many years ago and this time when you were this size and life felt really good and easy, you're a different person now that has different wisdom and different life experience. You're magical and magnificent. And you have so many incredible things that you know and things that you want and desires. Allow them. Play with that. Journal about it. If you could do anything in this life and you never had to worry about money, what would it be? Would you travel the world? Would you be a food blogger? Would you be a fashion designer? Would you just love to be a stay-at-home mom? And I don't mean just, because that's such a gift. Would you start your business? Would you have your own store? Would you run retreats? Would you write a book? Would you be a singer? Would you not want to do anything? Would you just donate your time? What would make you happy? To be an artist. One of my clients has really gotten into this, and she just did her first art show, and she displayed her paintings, and she's really owning now being an artist, and something she never allowed herself. And that disallowance of self had her turn to food. It's really beautiful when we allow ourselves to be who we've always wanted to be, which is really what this is all about. The disallowance of you, your innate gifts, your talents, your voice, the love for you, that's the only reason why you want food, right? And it's those pieces of you that haven't been healed, that don't believe that you are enough. The piece of you that wants protection, that wants to be told that she's perfect no matter what, that she can do and be anything. I always say I would love to go back and give every little girl, and just go in her ear and go, you can be anything, you can do anything, you can have anything, you're perfect exactly as you are. I would put that on repeat and do a self-hypnosis and have every little girl from this point forward listen to that until forever and see what they become. Dating yourself is one of the greatest gifts and one of my favorite parts of the work that I get to do, and to see the women in my community learn who they are and to find themselves and to find their voice and give themselves the gift of what that is, and to have fun and to play. So your mantras, these are your mantras, and I want you to write them down. This is what I want you to tell yourself. You can say it in the mirror, or I want you to go in and I want you to repeat these to yourself. Because for each of you, and I really felt it energetically in your nervous system, you actually don't feel safe. You don't feel safe in your body. You don't fully trust in your desires. And I felt that very strongly. And as each one of you were connecting in with the emotions and the areas of pain, there was, and I was really being shown that there's a gift of freedom the more that you do that, and the more that you step into this, and the more that you come into these mantras and you give yourself the nurturing and the love and the care that you so desperately desire and need. That's what will give you the life that you want. That's what will give you the body that you want. Make sure to write these down. Yes, Linda, perfect. So I teach this to all of my women. We call ourselves in our Weight Loss for Life group, we're queens, and we call it the queenshood. We all actually have crowns, And it's amazing. They brought me a gold one at our first retreat, and I have it in my mantle for meditation. And it's surrounded, and I have my crystals inside it. And your body is a temple, ladies. It truly is. And I really, really want you to be in the space of recognizing everything you put into your body. Everything you put into your body reflects the relationship that you have with you. Everything you put into your body, you feel on the inside, and it can either heal you and help you, right? And you also see it on the outside. So your stomach is the size of a fist. What you put into this shows up on your hair, your skin, your nails, shows up in your muscles, right? It shows up in your bones. We want to eat to thrive. I want you to start recognizing and seeing food and thinking before you ingest food, and think, is this what's good for my temple? If I'm a queen, and let me really break down what a queen is. A queen only wears beautiful clothes. A queen eats only the highest quality food, organic, greens, right? Good protein. She eats in a way that fuels her body, right? She speaks. She demands respect. She uses her voice. She's picky in those that surround her. She has mentors. She has community. She's a leader, right? A queen stands in her worth, and she loves herself. Embody the queen that is you. So there's something that I really take people through, and I really want you to get clear on this equation, because it's something that came to me years ago when I started my business, and I love it. It's just clear intention plus inspired action will equal your desired result. Clear intention. Why did I have you do your why? So you would have a clear intention. Through this masterclass, you have your why. You have a clear intention. What are you going to do? You're going to take inspired action. What is inspired action? Inspired action is aligned action. Action that fuels your desired result. What is that? Moving your body, drinking water, meditating in the morning, thinking loving thoughts, using your voice, eating undistracted, taking time to ask yourself what you need and what's coming up for you instead of shoving food in your mouth, right? And I say shoving food, I say that's with love, right? But that's what we do, because we're like, okay, I just, this feeling's unsettling. This is my pattern. This is what I do. We do it without even thinking. Clear intention plus inspired action will yield your desired result. So here's the thing. I am doing something. I did a webinar like this, a masterclass, and it was something I was guided to last October. And I remember, speaking with I will get messages and downloads and different things from my guides, and it was do this trauma and weight loss webinar, and I'm going, trauma, like that's a touchy subject, and a lot of people are cautious about relating to it. And I was kind of sitting there, and when it's a divine message, because I was in resistance, and I was like, this isn't something I would tell myself. And I did it, and it was so beautiful, and it helped so many. And what I did, and what I was guided to again, was to offer 7 spots. There are 7 spots. This link right here that I'm going to put in my, I think you can see this right here. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put it right here. Here's the deal, and I'm going to be very, very honest. Please, guys, I have 7 spots. So please, I open this up. I only have 7. I wish I could open up my calendar endlessly. I was able to really support the women that signed up last year and really help them to move forward. I know that when it comes to trauma, it can be a lot. It's hard to make sense of it. Some stuff comes up. I had women share things with me that they'd never shared in their entire lives when we spoke last year. And it was a gift for me to be able to support. I very rarely, very, very, very rarely, my calendar is really busy. So generally these calls go to my head coach that is certified under me and is certified in many areas, but specifically in what I teach. She normally takes these calls. I'm actually taking the first 7. So if this is something that you want, please go over, use this link and get on my calendar. It's only open this week. That's my only time that I have. And I did open these spots. Please, if you take a spot, really be committed to the spot, because I'm committed to you and I'm committed to supporting you. And so I know that sometimes you can get offered things and it's like, oh, I'll just sign up. It doesn't matter. It's free. It is free. It's a free 20-minute call with me. I do a lot in that time. You might be going, what can she possibly do in that time? Trust me, I do a lot. Please take it. So I can support you further. Again, there are only 7 spots, so I really urge you to go and do that now. I'm just really, really honored to have supported you tonight. I'm here to answer any of your questions. You can email. We will be sending a replay only to those that came live. So I want you to know that. We will be sending a replay to those that came live. And I would love to hear from you. So essentially, once you get that email, please feel free, just hit reply. Let me know what spoke to you. Let me know, did this support you? Was this a topic that you want more support around? I'm really, really, really committed to supporting you through what you need. So the more you tell me, the more I can support you. And I just want to thank you so much for your time, for taking the time for you tonight, being here and showing up and making yourself a priority. It truly, it shows so much of your commitment to you. And I just want you to know that I'm committed right back. We have some awesome things for you guys. If you're not a member of the Done with Dieting group, please get in there. We're doing a healthy holiday challenge, a 2-week challenge. It's going to be starting soon. It's complimentary. It's for you. Be in there. You're going to get some amazing daily inspiration to help you keep you aligned so that you really, really continue to make yourself a priority and your goals, so that this holiday season isn't one where you're just going, man, like, how did I put weight on again? I want to support you around family. I want to support you in the holiday season. I want to support you in general. And so I'm really doing everything I can with my team to create some awesome things for you guys. So please head on over to Facebook. If you're not a member of the Done with Dieting group, head on in there, ask to be approved. There's just some questions and we'll bring you right in and you can be in there. And please, the more you show up in there, the more you'll get from it. A few other things I wanted to tell you is I'm going to be doing 2 more webinars. So you can mark your calendar. You'll see promo. If you're not on my list already, head on over to melissacatherine.com and sign up to get my emails. We're doing another webinar on December 6th and another one on December 13th. So on the 6th, it's essentially how to not overeat during the holiday season, how to essentially not eat your emotions. So we're going to be diving in even deeper. And on the 13th, we're going to be going into how to really have a stress-free, sane, and even slim down this holiday season. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. I like to make them interactive. If you want support and any live coaching, please email as well. We're going to be bringing in different people for some spot coaching. If you want one of those spots, let me know. Again, if you want one of these 7 spots, head on over, use that link. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. And it's truly a gift to be able to support you. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing. I love you all. Have a beautiful night. Ooh. Bye, guys.